All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. And today we have a bonus episode because we are officially 7 weeks away. 7 weeks, just under 50 days away from the National. So we thought we would get on here and do a bonus episode to talk about all things the National. We're going to answer some of your questions. Jason got those from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So we will answer some of those, try to give some tips and tricks for what is this sports card mecca. This is the biggest show in the world. So we're going to talk everything about the National. So, Ty, Lou, when did you guys first go to the National?
Interesting. I thought you were going to go with what's on your mind about the National.
I know. That's why I was like, we're not doing that, right?
No,
and
we're not doing
immediately went to it.
This is not a normal show. This is a bonus episode.
Agreed.
Right.
First time I went to, was it 2018? Are we
Yes.
in 2022?
Yes.
Holy, what?
I think it was 2019, actually.
Was 2018 Cleveland?
2018 was Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah, so
2019 was Chicago.
So that was us.
Got it. So 2018, I set up Gary. That was when Gary went out to Cleveland with his son and Avi. And it was in Cleveland. And I was like, what is this thing you're going to? This is interesting. And that's when I started emailing with the National, hooked them up, blah, blah, blah. Came home. And the next day was buying cards profusely. We then, that was when we started planning for 2019 National, and 2019 National was my first National show. And pretty much my life has never been the same since the day I went to that show. I learned a lot about a lot of things at that show. And mainly I got a quick crash course in arbitrage, sales, and I remember multiple times buying cards because I saw two of them at different prices and buying the card at the cheaper and then bringing it back to the table and listing it for what someone else had it listed for, and then it selling and being like, this is pretty cool. I also would say that what I was interested at that show, what I left that show with, was soccer and some hockey. And I think it goes to speak to, like, I only wish I had trusted my own gut and intuition more, because it was baseball and basketball. And I was like, where's Ronaldo? Where's Gretzky? And I believe that Gary bought a PSA 9 Ronaldo Mega Cracks. I think he bought a PSA 9 Ronaldo Mega Cracks for 4 and a PSA 10 Ronaldo Mega Cracks for 10 cash.
Those are much bigger now, aren't they?
Those are a little bit higher now.
Yes.
I don't follow it enough, so I don't know.
Incredibly. Because I was meeting all these people. I'm like, you got soccer? You got soccer? But at the time, I'm like, I'm not paying $4,000 for a card. What are we talking about here? But Gary's like, all right. So he's got those sitting in his vault, as well as a golden Mbappe Kaboom, which was another, like, okay, that card is definitely hot, but I can't pay that much. I then got into trusted my own risk assessment a little bit more. I was able to make some plays. That's where I got the Neymar Gold Kaboom, and I have fond memories, and I can't wait to get back.
All right, so you've officially been to 2 National. This will be your 3rd National.
Why was it canceled that one year?
Yeah, you canceled in COVID in 2021.
Yeah, 2021, it was on last year.
So 2020 was off. 2021 it was.
Yep, this will be my third.
Yes. Real quick, just for the people, just to give a little color on that Ronaldo thing. The last PSA 10 Mega Cracks sold on May 19th, so recently, for $168K.
Oh my goodness!
And the last PSA 9, that was a PSA 10. That was Gary paid 10 for that. Again, this is just for context of like how much the market has changed, and I think it's a part of the story of the National as well, and like how crazy it's all gotten recently. So the last PSA 9 was sold in October of 2021 for $44,000. So 10x on both of those, basically.
We'll save this for Card Talk on Monday or Tuesday next week. It is wild to hear that is a 4x difference between one number grade.
Oh my goodness.
It is and it isn't.
It's actually
4x.
the story was different.
Oh, you have the picture?
Was it 2 10s?
Can't really see it. It's kind of the 2 9s.
Oh, $700 and
and
$400.
$700 and $400.
So is it 700 for a 9
and
and 400 for an 8? Oh my goodness.
Okay, so 400 for an 8. The last 8 sold for 12,000.
He got it for $400. Holy cow.
And,
Last
the
week it sold
9, and those were sticker prices. My gut says we didn't go
Yeah, it
over
was-
1,000 for the 2.
That's what I was about to say. Sounds like it was they wanted 11.
Hey, you got 11
they
on
didn't
these.
get it.
You take 950. Nah, but I do 1,000. All right,
Yeah.
deal.
They wanted 1,100 and they did not get it.
All
All right,
It
let's
is.
for the purpose of conversation, just to keep everybody at home still going.
Yes.
Lou, was that at the same time you've been in the same amount?
Yes, same. It's pretty much the same story with me and Tyler, I would say. My first national was 2019 as well. I spent pretty much, I would describe as 99% of my time like doing transactions. So I didn't really get to walk around as much. Tyler and I walked around a little bit towards the end of the show, but for the most part, I was tied to the table. But we have a very similar story, so I won't repeat it too much.
Yeah, I think that's if you've been around Card Talk since the beginning, we've talked about this a couple times, but that's where we met. Actually, was the national, right? That's how this started.
Yes.
This would have been, we met in Chicago in 2019, and shortly after that, early next summer, like what was it? Was it March? It was right after COVID. It was like May of 2020.
Yes.
May of
Started
2020.
talking, we hit you up in April of 2020 to do the show. And then we
That's
started testing in
crazy.
May, and the first episode was in July.
Man,
I
that's
remember
crazy.
actually vividly the conversation that Lou and I had around the show and names being flown around, and we pretty much like the Gallery Media Group was putting names together for this show about sports cards because we were really tight with eBay, blah blah blah, and we were sitting right next to each other and we're like, it should be us too, and Card Collector too.
Yeah, didn't call you Ryan then. We didn't know you well enough.
Yeah.
That was it. We were like that kid from Ohio that was doing this thing.
Yeah, he's kind of nice. He knows what he's talking about. Let's do him.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like if you go back and I'm gonna go back. I'm like I assure you this will be on my to-do list now. But I'm gonna go back and watch those vlogs because that was the first time I ever vlogged a national. That was the first time I'd ever done it. Right, first time I ever went to a national was Cleveland, 2009. It took $300 I borrowed from my grandma to the national.
Wow.
Did a little box
state
war.
of Ohio.
Yeah, I did a little box war at Panini's booth back in the day. Like they still do those to this day. Shout out to Panini,
Yes.
national OGs. They did a little box war. It was lowest serial number. It hit a Chad Johnson auto out of 10 and won an Adrian Peterson stamp, little stamp. It had a little stamp piece in it and a little jersey, and it was signed and numbered to 3. Won that for winning a box war. I mean,
That's
9.
fire.
So I would have been 16 at the time. And then split a box with split a case of 2009 Topps Jumbo Football and hit a Mark. Shout out to Lou who just had to sign off, but hit a Mark Sanchez rookie premier auto. So yeah, this will. I've been to every single one since Cleveland 2009 except for COVID. But I'm gonna go back through and watch some of the videos from my first national vlog where I met Ty, Lou. Just relive some of those memories because it was a big deal. But
yeah, Jay and Courtney, we need that clip. Let's get that clip into the podcast.
How did we hit up Ryan? I would love. This is like not the same
Ty,
story at all.
I remember exactly where I was when Tyler called me. I was sitting in our offices, right, talking to our grading team, and Tyler calls me. He's like, hey, you got time for a call? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like, sure. Like I watch you on YouTube. Like, absolutely, brother. Like, sure, I'm in. And I'm feet kicked up in the chair, and Ty's like, hey man, we're doing this podcast with eBay. Not sure if you've ever done a podcast or you're interested, but we'd love to have you on there. We'd love to work something out if you were interested in hosting with us. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. So we'll get into that. That's a Card Talk.
And then we
weekly.
recorded 17 pilot episodes.
17. Gosh, we should.
No, those are gone. Those are gone in the archives. They'll never be out.
Those
They're
would
really
be
bad.
fantastic to release. Those were.
We're just doing nostalgia.
Yeah. So I don't. Want this
May
to be
26th of 2020. I DM'd Ryan like, "Hey, we're doing this kind of thing." So it was May of 2020.
Yeah, crazy. 2 years. All right, but so you've heard. So that's what we wanted to kind of point out in this is Lou, Ty, and I all have different experiences at the National. Right, Ty's walked the floor, Lou's manned the booth. I've only set up once, but I've been to a lot. Trade nights, all sorts of different things. We all have different experiences. That's what really makes this podcast fun. So we're going to try to talk about our different experiences in this. But again, we have so many questions to get to. So let's just get right into those. I know Jay said he has a good amount of them ready. I think it's 14. So shout out to those of you that are going to listen to all of it. All right, so Jesse Goski says, anyone ever use anything like this at a show before? Last year at the National, I bought a backpack, but halfway through my first day, my back was smoked. So much walking, thinking about trying something like this year. Any thoughts? So I will shamelessly plug. I don't try to do this a lot, but I will shamelessly plug. I've done some YouTube videos in the past, and I will likely redo them this year. But they are on YouTube. We talk about this on YouTube. Backs, shoes. Let's get into all that because this is going to be super important. Lou, you want to break it down?
Yeah, so for the people who are just listening, Jess sent the picture, and it's basically what I would describe as like a roller case is the way I would describe it. It's kind of like a briefcase that has wheels on the bottom and
it's a
push, kind of like a
professional version
briefcase.
of a rolly backpack.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. A rolly backpack for adults is a great way to describe it. So
go rolly backpack.
I kind of don't hate the rolly backpack. I did see this question and respond to it in our chat in our Facebook group. Shout out to anyone who's in the Car Talk Facebook group. I think these are good. I've had a backpack previously. I'm officially moving on from the backpack as well because, trust tree. I'm a kind of a sweaty guy, so my back gets kind of sweaty with the backpack on, plus the back pain. So I'm switching full time. Lou brings a wheelie backpack to work. Pass it on. All right, relax. I am going to be getting just a regular briefcase is what I want because I don't have that many cards to begin with. So I feel like unless you have 100 plus cards, this is a little bit excessive. But I love it as opposed to a backpack.
You might buy a lot of cards.
So the big thing for what I would say about this is Chicago is really, really tricky for rolly backpacks. It is by far the most crammed location for the National. The aisles are super, super, super tight. All of the other venues it's ever been at that I've ever been to, Baltimore, Atlantic City, Cleveland, those are the only other ones outside of Chicago. But those three are much bigger. They're 15 times wider aisles. Chicago's super tight. It's hard to get a bunch of rolly book bags in there without clipping somebody on the ankle and, sending people to the ground in some pain. Atlantic City allows for, at least it has in the past. It's been a few years since it's been there. I think it was in 17. But yeah, these are definitely easier than back. But we talked about this before, where comfortable shoes, something comfortable that you can carry your cards in. These are important things that you might not be on the number one. You're trying to get a game plan together. What cards you want to buy? You're not thinking about the comfortable shoes you got to walk on concrete with for 5 straight days for 14-hour days. Those kind of things are important, but having something safe and secure for, you to carry your cards around is definitely important.
We need to put a screenshot of what Tyler just sent in our group chat.
M&M World kids rolling.
That's fire.
Oh, that thing is fire.
It's gas. Yeah, I think sneakers. I'm not sure if there's other questions about it, but sneakers, your storage situation. I highly recommend chapstick because you're talking a lot. You're not getting a lot of water in.
Yeah. Let's make sure. Let's go on. We're going to talk about, if we don't get to it in a question, we'll talk about essentials to bring. But Jay, let's get into the next question. Let's see what else we got.
All right, Beta tight chip, and I like it.
Beta Sports Card says, first time National attendee, what's a good strategy to keep from getting overwhelmed and remain focused on going after my PC? Love the show.
Love this. Okay. First and foremost, Jay, Beta Sports Cards needs an invite to our Friday event that we're putting together. First National. You need to make sure he's there. Make a list. Have in your notes your strategy. What's a good strategy to keep from getting overwhelmed and remain focused on going after my PC? A note, something that you can that can ground you. Does that make sense? Meaning, if you have a note in your phone that you wrote before National of the things you want to accomplish, within 4 hours, within the first 45 minutes of walking into that show, you're going to completely forget your entire strategy.
That would be my number one point is go into it knowing it's going to happen. The National has a requirement of 500,000 square feet, continuous square feet to host the National. This is not a small show. You walk in here and immediately everybody is there. It's again, sports card mecca, right? This isn't your average show. You're going to walk in and just be immediately overwhelmed. So to walk in and know that that's going to happen is important from the start. I couldn't agree more, Ty.
I agree. I would also say something that people do when they're, people are very focused on getting one or two things for a PC, or there's specific players or types of cards, whatever. Give yourself the opportunity to walk the entire thing and like let yourself explore and like, oh, look at all the cool stuff. Don't worry about like, oh, I got to hit this corner first. I got to find this table. I got to find that table. Like I would recommend walking through the door the first time and walking the entire show so you know everything that's there, and then you can focus in on what you want to do.
Yeah, after being, again, I've been to 12 of these, like a lot. I walk in and I'll be overwhelmed. It doesn't ever get easier. Like it's like there's nothing like it. I look forward to this more than you could ever imagine. It is a blast. So when you walk in there, it's amazing, right? Enjoy it, take in the moment, but just know that like Lou said, I love the idea of walk the show floor, get an idea of what is there, where it's at, just take it all in. But like Ty said too, having some sort of game plan you can re-reference later is going to be helpful, because you're going to get in there, spend an hour and a half walking around, and you're going to be like a kid in a candy store, and you're just going to be like
buying random stuff.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Your money could be gone in 15 minutes, and you'd have no idea. You're like, well, that was fun. See you next year.
Darn it! And you look down, and you have 3 things that 2 hours ago you swore you would not even have interest in. I think a quick little build on, and then we'll go next question, is to lose thing. I think you need to go in with a pre-written strategy, whether it's a note, this is what we're on, and then Lou said, give it a walk. On that walk, your synapses are just going to start firing. Oh man, that's a good play. I like that. Let me go check this out. I like keeping an iPhone note so that you can say, and even, hey, this table, you're going to forget, you're going to see something and completely forget where you saw it.
All-time tip right here, Ty.
Yeah.
Take a picture, text the picture to yourself and what the card was, and so you can be like, bang, this card at this table, and you know exactly where it's at.
100.
It's an extremely difficult place to get around. Like, don't overrate how hard it is, and just let yourself like have the extra step. It's very worth it.
100%. All right, next question is from Joaquin Lagos. I think that's Joaquin the Dream. It says, what, if anything, is either missing from the show or just something you'd personally love to see?
I got a great one. You ever go to a baseball game?
Been a while.
You know when you're sitting in the seat and all of a sudden man's like, hot dog, or like cold water here, and like you don't got to get up and go to the concession stand? I think it would be dope if there was a hot dog dude. Mobile vendors.
That's pretty good, because the lines suck. They suck.
Let's have a conversation. Do they like limit what you can bring in? Because I feel like if you're the guy who's like making ham and cheese sandwiches and having some bags of chips on the side, you might have a talk about play of the week.
You want to play of the week? You want to play of the week?
Might be a sneaky move.
We might make a play of the week. There's these pop-up chairs. They fold down. They're like as big as a frisbee, right? And you can pop them open and you sit on them. So those are like $20 a piece. A water and a seat combo for $30, making $9. That's 35% margins. We're running a whole business here at the National.
Forget cards, 35% margin.
Golly, wrap it up.
We better see someone walking around slanging some hot flaming Cheetos or something.
You gotta have, the kids who from my basketball team. You know what I mean? That's a great place
a box
to crush
of candy. From a kid, you're definitely buying at least
Skittles, and everyone's
Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, everyone's would buy them for sure. I'd buy them.
The amount of Samoas I would eat that week would be out of control.
Next level.
I would
Ryan,
probably
what
buy
about you?
all of them. We'd probably buy all of them.
Ryan, what would something you would like to see at the show?
That's a really good question. I
I think I know what mine is.
You go, because I generally have no idea.
Okay, I have two. My first one is that I would love some better internet access. The internet situation
I was
is a
thinking
consistent
mobile
disaster.
charging, so that's a good one.
Yeah, mobile, something for your phone, like Juice, like the little towers where you could like plug your phone in for 30 minutes for free or whatever. Internet. And then the other one would be, I actually would like to be able to watch more of the stuff that's happening on the stage.
That's a real.
But unless
that
you're
would be
sitting right there, you
fantastic.
can't hear or see anything. So I wouldn't mind like hey, you could rent a screen for the week or stream it or something.
Yeah.
YouTube live stream should be
Obvious.
that's
But
a
again,
really
you
good
can't
idea.
get it in the building unless you have the internet. So that's something else I would recommend as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I would replicate what I would just reiterate what those guys said. I think those are both really, really good things. The mobile vendor thing is really good. The internet's good. The mobile charging. To be able to see the stage is a big one because that's where the things happen, right? Like the National puts a lot of emphasis on the main stage.
Yeah.
But if you're at the show, right, and you're wheeling and dealing and you're in the back corner, you have no idea whatever happens there. And it's not like the National has a replay of every single booth and every single dealer. Like you have no idea. You just miss it. So, all right. Sean Madden says, is the National a good place for low-end collecting? I'm in a place with my collecting where I don't spend a ton of money on cards due to recently buying a house. Congratulations. But I also want to experience the National, being that I live only 45 minutes away from Atlantic City. Is everything there high-end, super expensive, or can you have a good time buying some low-end for set collecting, team collecting, PC collecting? I will start with this. I normally like to pass it off. The first time I ever went to the National, I took $300, and it was the time of my life. Value boxes for days at these shows. Our most popular item last year was value boxes, sub $25 cards. There's a saying, if they make it and you can't find it at the National, it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. Like
Agreed.
anything, everything at the National, you could take $100 a day, $50 a day, and you could make that last. But again, like Tyler's point about Mbappe, that's important too. Tyler didn't clarify the card, but I just know what it was. Tyler found an Mbappe on the side of the floor for, let's say it was 200, took it back to his booth, sold it for 300. Go through some value boxes, find a stack for 50, go sell it to another dealer for 80. Now you got 30 more.
All day long.
Yeah, all day long. We're always buying at the show. There's tons of people wheeling and dealing for 5 straight days. Go buy a value box for 50, flip it to the next guy for 75, repeat it. By the end of the third day, you probably got $400. They got a lot more.
I have like 17 of the same Christian Pulisic card because someone had a ton of them, and I just bought the lot and then brought them back to the table and listed them at like a 15. I was just selling them like one off at a time. What just hit my mind though, because one of the things that brought me the most joy is also all the memorabilia that's in the mix there. But I feel like memorabilia is hotter right now than it has been over the last 2-3 years. Like I feel like there could be a lot there from the memorabilia side of things too, or toys or video games. Like there was almost no Pokemon at the 2019 National.
Yep.
Oh, close to no Pokemon at the 2019 National. I think we'll see a lot of video games, toys, and memorabilia.
I don't disagree with that take. I think they've definitely all grown, so you'll see more of it for sure. I think it's just a natural progression, right? Like the National is a very card heavy show. And something that I think is interesting is like it's hard to get a table at that show. Like those tables sell out they sell out real fast. So for someone who might be more of a memorabilia type person, it's going to be a little bit tougher to get in the door.
Or Pokemon or video games.
Yeah, but I think just naturally with the way the whole thing has grown, there will be more on scattered tables. Like for people, there's definitely more of like the younger collector who dabbles in way more things as opposed to the crew who has been going there for 25 years who just sells baseball cards. And those are my guys.
Agree, Courtney. Courtney said Funkos. I think you'll see some good Funko energy.
But yes, Sean, you can definitely do something.
Real quick, I would also say even if you go and don't spend basically any money, it's still the most fun you can have all year long. It's like if you're a baseball fan, it's like going to the Baseball Hall of Fame. It's the same thing. You just walk around and look at the coolest card you'll ever see in your entire life.
Agreed.
For 2 days, and it's the
And
most
there's
fun thing
enough
ever.
stuff going on. There's enough giveaways. Like you can make an event out of it and still win up without spending
easily.
It's
you
not
really,
impossible.
Really can. You really
Facts. Jay, can you reach out to Sean? We might have an extra ticket that we can bless Sean for the national.
We have
saving a little money since he got a house. I like that idea.
Might have a couple things.
That's an all-time move. Kyle says, Tyler thinks LeBron is going low. Ryan thinks it's going high. I say whoever is farthest off wears a shirt of the winner's college football team for a full day at the national. I mean, there's no chance. There's 0% chance. I'll donate money to charity before I'll ever wear that. Like,
there's no chance I'm putting an Ohio State.
I mean, there's no chance.
That's weak, guys.
Look,
no conviction.
I would rather wear a picture of Tyler than Penn State.
Look, you're gonna wear a Tom Brady jersey for a day?
He's a Michigan fan. Of course he will.
No, first of all, Georgia fan since day one. And number two, I don't know where you get that from. Number two, I made a bet to wear a shirt last year. I happened to win that
shirt,
bet.
Right?
Yeah, because Jay folded 48 hours into a season-long bet.
I made the bet.
That's a scam from the start. Jay doesn't know how to bet. It's like taking candy from a baby.
I didn't say that.
It was brutal.
To center us, Jay, I did not say anything like that.
He
I want that to be remembered.
Jay made a bet.
Future thumbnails,
like, this is a terrible
future
idea.
social post. None of it was me. It was all these two, right? These two, right there.
I just don't know if I can get behind making a bet about wearing an Ohio State jersey. I'd rather be super wrong.
Hey, when did you guys ever wear? Jay, do we have pictures of Ty and Lou in the
the hoodie?
Shirts?
Yes.
The stump shirts?
Of course we do.
We ought to get those going.
They were
back.
hoodies, right?
We should get those going back.
We stumped the shop might need to come back.
I
don't
feel
hate
like there's energy for stump the shop.
It would be brutal.
Maybe at the show we should pick proxies and let them go against Ryan. I think that's a good idea. Next question.
Yeah, Kyle, thanks for the idea, but no.
I respect it. But we could make a friendly wager, but we'll
figure out something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna be right. So I like if you want to wager anything, you let me know.
Penn State shirt.
You know you're gonna be right.
You wanna wager that? Yeah, I mean, you bet like $700,000.
$878,000.
That's ridiculous. Yes, it's gonna be there the first day.
Okay, pre-buyer premium. I feel kind of confident about.
What if we gave real guesses?
With including buyer premium?
Hammer price.
Does that mean buyer's premium?
All in number, whatever. Like the final number to the buyer.
The number that they report.
The number that the buyer sends via wire is the number.
So so no buyer's premium.
With the premium. All in.
So that's the number that they report.
Fine.
Correct. The publicized number.
The publicized number.
Penn State.
1.22.
1.23.
No, see, you're so annoying.
I'm off this. Next question.
Tyler was ready to make the bet. Everyone will always remember that moment. Ryan,
I'm willing to make the bet. Are we playing deal or no deal or not?
No.
You chose that number. We're not playing deal or no deal. How about that?
Sad.
But I don't understand. Like, did I do something wrong? I guessed.
You created your own rules and tried to manipulate the bet.
No, I just guessed 1.23.
Because you mentally just decided that there was going to be a rule set of, some certain game that maybe none people don't know about at all.
No, you get 1.22 or less. I get 1.23 or more.
No, that wasn't the game, and it.
And then why do you get to go first?
Good point.
Why do I go first?
Good point. I think it should be a blind. It should be a blind number.
Next question, Greg.
Greg says, I'm considering buying a VIP ticket, not only for early entry, but for the VIP lounge. I'm hoping it would be a good place to sit, regroup, and re-energize away from the crowds. What has been your experience in the lounge in the past?
I've never been in the lounge.
Never been in the lounge. I know it exists. It's been there for a long time. It is a popular place. They typically have drinks and they have some sort of like refreshments in there. It's pretty popular, but I've never personally been in there.
Courtney and Jay, can you make sure we have a conversation about T-shirts for the national and executing the mobile vendor strategy of T-shirts? I've never been in the I've never been in the VIP lounge. Can't speak to the VIP lounge. I'm more or less at our booth the entire time, and my feet hurt. I don't know the price of the VIP ticket. my head goes to finessing your way into the paying GA and finessing your way into the VIP lounge, but that's
I would
just
never recommend such a
the
thing.
way that I grew up. I can't speak to the VIP lounge. I imagine that the National sets it up pretty properly.
I honestly, it's probably a good idea. If you really do get a place to sit, that sounds like a great idea because it's a nightmare during the day. People are just sprawled across the floor.
It's exhausting.
I wouldn't hate that. And for all my dealers, I'm definitely bringing a legit chair this time to sit in. There'll be no messing around. No metal chair.
Next question, Jay.
I'm literally pulling up with an M&M backpack.
Nick Carr says, for a mid-end collector, what would you load up on in the next 5 weeks to have some trade material for trade night? Football.
Yeah.
Football would be my pick as well. Easy pick.
Yeah, football for sure.
Quarterbacks.
You'll be a couple weeks away from the start of football season at that point. You're 7 weeks away now. You're going to be, I think, the next weekend after the National. So it's like the 8th and 9th, I think. I think that's the Hall of Fame game. Typically is. So that's the first preseason game of the year. Like you're 7 days away from football season starting at the biggest card show in the world where people are looking to transact. They're going to be looking for football.
Yep. I agree.
You'll also
my other thing would then say is baseball prospects.
Yeah.
People like upside.
Yeah, I mean, baseball prospects, if they're not going to play in the postseason, is a little tricky because you're an off season away. You're going to basically be a month or 2 months away from being able to buy those guys for less because the season's going to end in October. So I would say guys that have a run, again, just to play devil's advocate, you'd probably want to look, I would want to look at guys that are going to have a shot at going to be playing in October. So probably not the Yankees or Mets, maybe more the Astros. Shout out to Lou, but you know.
Jeremy Pena, the AL Rookie of the Year.
That's what I would look at.
Aaron Judge, the home run leader in the MLB. Shout out to the Yankees. See you in the LCS. Question from Sam Stuff.
Go Yankees.
Waiting for Ty to say something. All right, so Sam's _stuff25. Shout out to Sam. Runs Women in the Hobby on IG. She said, what's the biggest difference between the AC National and the Chicago National? Aisle space. For sure. It's rough. Chicago's tight. It is hard to move. Another thing is location. Chicago is the best for social. It is amazing. There's 5 hotels connected to the convention center. You walk out of the convention center and get into a trade night without touching the street every single night. It's amazing. It's 10 out of 10. Chicago is built very well for it. It's a little tight, again, in the show, but it's built for trade nights. Atlantic City is cool. It's just you're walking in a casino town. It's like walking around Vegas all night. It's like it's not necessarily where you want to be at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's got its moments, but ton of people, tons to do. I mean, they're both fun. Jersey Boardwalk in the summer can't be the worst.
As a Jersey guy, the AC Boardwalk is not the best we have to offer, but I'm also not going to let you attack New Jersey like you just did. So we're gonna talk about that one later.
Just to be clear, when I left Atlantic City last time, the day after I left, somebody was murdered outside of the hotel we stayed at. Murdered on a Monday morning.
AC's not.
No one's ever been murdered in the state of Ohio.
I just conveniently read the day after, brother. I'm not like, I don't feel like I'm going to get murdered outside of my hotel in Chicago. In Rosemont.
I'm pretty sure the murder rate in Chicago is higher than
we're not in like
Atlantic City.
What South Side? We're not in like the rough parts of Chicago.
We should definitely skip right over it.
Looking up how many murders happen.
No, we're gonna skip over it. We're gonna read Mountain Max sports memorabilia.
He says, "Are you doing a live podcast at the end of the day at the 1:37 p.m. booth? If so, can I pull up and listen live?"
Murders in New York City surged in 2020
Can we not
by 47%.
This is like so not what we talked about last week.
We can't be going down these rabbit holes again.
You're right. Sorry.
Reset. Let's reset that and cut that out.
Hell yes. Hell yes. Mountain Max sports memorabilia. No, we can leave that in. We can let that go. It's murder, crime, mysteries, Stranger Things, all the same thing. Are you doing a live podcast at the end of the day at the 1:37 p.m. booth every day? Yes, we are. Each day we will be doing. And it's the same VO guy for every national, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, we probably can't because they're going to be...
We need that
13 minutes and 25 seconds left. 13 minutes, 25 seconds left.
Yeah.
The show will be closing in 8 minutes and 14 seconds.
The show will be closing in 46 seconds.
The show will be closing in 4 minutes and 8 seconds.
I trust Courtney so much. Courtney, can you make sure that we reach out to our boy, because I'm pretty sure we got connected with them, and maybe we have our boy on the podcast?
The VO guy? I can hit up John.
Yeah. Hit up John.
I'll hit up John.
I just hope Courtney will make sure we get it done.
All right, Hobby Bro Cards. Looking at the schedule for the week, it says Wednesday is a sneak peek. Is a VIP ticket required to get into the sneak peek? So the answer for that is, if you want to get in 30 minutes early for the sneak peek, you would need a VIP ticket. If you want to get in for general admission, you do not need a VIP ticket. You can just come in 30 minutes later. Typically in the past, it's 2:30 p.m. start time for VIPs on Wednesday and 3 p.m. for general admission on Wednesdays.
I will say, personally, I don't think what you would pay for the VIP ticket to specifically come in for that 30 minutes would be worthwhile, unless you are interested in all the other VIP stuff, unless Ryan tells me I'm wrong.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree more.
Interesting.
Yeah, the 30
go down Wednesday.
I don't mean, Ty, do you mean 30 minutes every day or 30 minutes just that day?
Just that day.
The 30 minutes any day, every day makes a difference. First in line at Panini's Redemptions, first in line for grading, first in line at Topps booth, first in line at Upper Deck, first in line at Whatnot's going to be doing.
You win, I lose. That's why.
Right. 30 minutes beats 25%. 20% of people get in early. 80% of people don't. I'm going to be in the 20% for a few dollars more a day.
If you are a person who wants to do that Panini thing, or wants to do PSA submissions, or isn't a really active
anything
dealer, it's
other
worth
than
it.
Buy and sell with one person. Anything other than that.
But if you're the person who's driving 45 minutes just to pull up, probably not worth it. Right? You agree with that?
If you're doing anything outside of walking up to table, looking to buy, sell, and trade, that's the only thing you're doing.
Which is the vast majority of people going.
Sure. If you're not grading cards, if you're not doing anything at Panini's booth, you're not doing anything at Topps booth, you're not trying to win anything, you're not trying to do any giveaways, you're not trying to do any of that. You're just transacting with Lou and I, or Lou, myself, Tyler, you're just table to table. It's not as big of a difference. Personally, I'm like, hey, 30 minutes.
I agree with you. I was just saying, like, if you're not doing the extracurriculars, it's probably not worth it.
Aligned. I would agree. But I mean, one thing you got to keep in mind, right? There's other advantage. So I think
kind of seems like a good deal.
Yeah. Let me say this. I think it's $20 to get in general admission.
It's for 25 per day for GA. It's $169 on site pre-event for all 5 days, including Wednesday night sneak peek. VIPs also receive an exclusive VIP gift package, 12 selected free VIP autographs, 1/2 hour early admission each day, use parking of the pass. VIP lounge, and additional benefits.
Yeah, there's typically a parking pass. There was in Chicago, and there's a parking lot across the street. Yeah, so it's like $45 more, and you get this list of things on top of 30 minutes early every day. So over 5 days, $45. It's $9 extra to get in 30 minutes early, and you get all the autographs for free. You get all the VIP packs from Panini, Topps, Upper Deck for free. They're typically like 5 or 6 card promo sets. You get those for free. Like you get VIP autos. You get access to the VIP lounge. All of that for $45 difference. If you're going for multiple days, doing anything at all, to me, it makes sense.
Agree.
So, all right. DMN Takeover says, how does proximity to the National affect your buying? Do you walk in with the same game plan regardless? If logistics of flight / getting a quantity of cards back successfully is a little messier, do you focus on less cards but higher end over quantity plays? Very good question.
It's a good question.
Yeah, really good question.
I think.
Go ahead.
It's good. Contextual, right? Meaning a hobby shop, like going to the National, is a completely different story than an individual. For me, I don't go. If I'm going to spend the money, that would mean I'm bringing home more cards than I'm comfortable to fly with. Then I'm also going to probably spend the money to ship said lot home.
Yep, agreed.
And I'll say this, I've been to a lot of shows in Dallas with Ryan. I've been to Nationals with Ryan. And I feel like every time he's had to leave when we're like getting chicken fingers to go to FedEx.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely again, Ryan 8 years ago in Baltimore in 2013, different than Ryan now, right? Definitely would have been a hey, what can I fit? Take that kind of home. But yeah, I mean everybody's different, right? Like Tyler's not going to look to bring home 5 4-row boxes of random jerseys and autos he's going to list on eBay to flip. That's not Ty's play, right? That's our play. I'm like, I bought excuse my, like, I saved it.
Good
I bought
job.
a freaking wagon full of sports cards. Like literally a wagon. I have a picture of it. I can probably find it. A full wagon of sports cards. Like we'll buy anything and everything if it makes sense. So I think everybody's different. Again, it's, my answer to this question would be is, are you willing to leave the show one day for 30 minutes to go to FedEx that's 25 minutes away and ship it all back? Right? It's just everybody has a strategy. I've gone to Dallas before and we bought crazy deals. We'll just go to Target and buy a suitcase for $70 and just take the suitcase home and check it. It just, what are you comfortable with? Do you not want to take anything home? Do you not want to go get a suitcase? Do you not want to go to FedEx? I'm all for, this is the biggest event, the biggest card show in the world. People are looking to move stuff. People are looking to deal. I'm looking to deal. Let's go to FedEx and buy a suitcase, or let's go to Target and buy a suitcase.
I agree. I think it's just if you're the type of person who, like, I know DMN is the type of person who does a lot of the lesser valued cards. So, oh my God, there it is for the people who are checking out on video. Ryan's little wagon he had there kind of looks like Tyler's
the
thing.
old Ryan wagon.
I do think if it's something that you normally do, try to plan for it. But like Ryan said, worst case scenario, you get an Uber to Target one night, the night before you leave, pack up the bag and just check it out on the way.
So this last question is definitely one I've done. Again, I mentioned in the beginning of this, I've done a lot of these like YouTube videos. We've done 3, 4, 5 part series about preparing for the national. I enjoy doing them. I enjoy talking about this. This is a question I get asked all the time. It's probably one of the top 3 questions that I get asked. It's, what's the best to carry at the show? Cash or inventory? The answer is the same. My answer is the same every time. And it would be the same thing I would tell you for the last question. Everybody's different, right? Tyler might have all inventory. He's not looking to really go there and spend $40,000 in singles. He's looking to make some plays, trade into some stuff he likes. Lou's like, hey, I want to go buy a Zach Wilson. I want one of those for my PC. Maybe an Elijah Moore I want to buy. Take a couple cards, wheel and deal there. Like, Lou's a mix. I'm like, hey, I'm looking to buy a bunch of stuff. We're looking to make some real deals. Everybody's different. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. What are you trying to accomplish, right? One of the things I typically say is, if you have like the stuff that a lot of people have, right? Not Tom Brady PSA 10 contenders or Mickey Mantle 52 tops or Jordan Fleer 9s, like the everyday type run of the mill stuff. Nothing wrong with that. That stuff's fun. That stuff at the national, you're not getting 85% of eBay on that. You're not getting top dollar for that. So if you're looking to walk in to the show with a stack of cards, right? You're like, hey, I got these cards here. I want to sell these. And they're not that amazing stuff, you're probably not getting full value. So if your goal is to have cash at the show, you should sell these in the next 4 weeks. You should have the cash now to walk in with. If your goal is like, hey, if I keep these or I don't, no big deal. Take them with you, right? So it just depends on your game plan. My focus would always be, don't walk into the national expecting to get 75% of eBay on your LeBron James clearly Donruss PSA 10 gold card. You're not going to get that. Somebody's not paying you 75% of eBay on that. It's different if it's a Michael Jordan PSA 7 rookie. So those two things are different. But if you go in expecting to get full eBay value to have cash to spend at the show, that is a mistake, I believe, personally. So I would prepare ahead of time if cash is the goal. If it's not, then it's a different strategy.
That's definitely true. I also, again, you're right. It's very situational. I think if you're the kind of person who is primarily going to operate at the show within show hours, you more likely need cash. If you're someone who is going to be going to trade nights, running around at night, hanging out with people, then I think trading is more in play. As a general rule, there's exceptions to everything always, but I think if you're trying to plan out your week or weekend, whatever, and you're thinking about where you're going to spend the most of your time, that is how I would dictate my decision.
I like that. Another, so it's not on here. Jason said that was the last question, but a couple things I want to put in there that I know I get asked a lot, because there's two that come to mind. So let's talk about both of them. One of them would be, I just want to put these out there so I don't forget. One of them will be essential items to bring or to have at the show, and the other one would be what's the best day to go. So I'll start with the best day to go. Just give my personal opinion. I talk a lot about this in the YouTube videos. It depends on your goals. You have a little one, right? And you're looking to just enjoy the show with your son, your daughter, your child. Typically the weekends are better days. A lot of the Panini free box breaks for kids, those kind of things happen on Saturdays and Sundays. Those things are typically those favorite kids. They're very busy, right? So that can be overwhelming, but a lot of the kids' activities, at least in the past, have been on Saturday. If you're hardcore flipper, you're looking to get there, spend a lot of time there, buy, sell, trade, make some moves. You're really looking to do that. The earlier, the better. Typically, that's always been the advice. The sooner you can get there, the better. So it just depends on that. You guys have any differencing of opinion there?
I think Thursday is the best day of the show overall, in my opinion. The most energy. Everyone's the most excited. There's the most happening on Thursday, in my opinion. Saturday is a good day for family stuff.
Yep. Saturday is a busy day. It's the busiest day for foot traffic. Thursday is a great energy day. Wednesday was actually our best financial day last year. Most transactions for sure.
Yeah, people were dying to get there on Wednesday. That's why.
Wednesday was crazy.
Last year was lit.
Yeah,
lit.
Last year was
Wednesday,
crazy.
Thursday was crazy.
Yeah, crazy. So essential items. So if you had to recommend things like that people are not thinking about, what would be on the top of your list?
Phone brick, number one. Like
Agreed.
a charger, mobile charger. If you can get one that has like 5-6 charges in it for the weekend, highly recommend.
Something
Anchor.
that does not require you to be plugged in to charge.
Shout out to Anchor, Amazon.
Agreed.
They're pretty cheap. They're real
Anchor's
good chargers. Highly recommend.
We should buy those and sell those there for sure.
Card Talk Anchor.
I agree.
Anchor is a Team Gary V item. I think everything we have is from
Anchor. Yeah.
I also think having your own supply of water bottles is a good idea too, because I was so thirsty
Snacks
all week long.
Over the top, I'd even say, because I'm like, oh, most people aren't setting up at tables. Yeah, I would say a backpack with just or a Rolly M&M backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Couple protein bars for like when you're really in a pinch, because even just the mental stimulation will wear you down.
Exhausting.
It's an exhausting week.
Exhausting week. I think comfortable clothes is important. Comfortable shoes is incredibly important.
Don't be trying to impress anybody at the National. We're here to do business.
Honestly, the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn are Yeezys. They are the most comfortable.
I do like your Yeezys.
Like we'll wear them every day. They are the most comfortable shoe on earth.
Agree.
I would say maybe a lozenge. Maybe a lozenge. A lot of times people will start getting all raspy and stuff. And maybe $100 to play blackjack while you're in town.
Yeah, I would agree with a lot of what you guys said. Phone charger is very important. Your phone is pulling some hardcore data to get that Wi-Fi going. It's going to drain your stuff. Definitely is important. I would agree with Ty. Like a hot dog, at least in Chicago, like a hot dog, a water, and a soda pre-inflation was like $18. It's probably $30 as it sits at the moment.
They're going to be killing people for food.
Yeah.
I
mean,
mobile vendor strategy would just.
Yeah. Another good one, Jason brings up.
Yeah, that was free game for everybody, by the way. Jay
brings up a good one. Top loaders and penny sleeves, right? That stuff's hard to find in general. At least it has been since COVID began. And there's typically not a lot of that stuff being sold there. There's typically one or two people, and they're making some money. They're making $1 or $2. So if you can go there and before you go, you can get a reasonable pack of top loaders. That was what I would recommend. I don't have one near me or I would show you guys, but 100 card snap tight. 100 card snap tight is $1.99. I think is what we sell them for. Holds 100 cards. I use those. I'll put those in my book bag. So when I go up to a quarter box or $1 box and there's nothing in soft sleeves, I just grab my 40 cards I bought and I throw them in 100 count. So I don't got to sit there and sleeve them all before I leave. Throw them in 100 count, go back to the hotel later, sleeve them, top load them in the hotel, and call it a day.
Trying to think of something off the beaten path, but let's move on.
One of the things I want to mention, we'll talk more about it later. I will announce more of it on social when it happens. But trade night, right? Trade night is something Kentucky Basketball Cards and I started back in Atlantic City. Actually, that was our first place it ever started, 2016. And it has grown to what I would consider probably the biggest event at the biggest card show in the world. It's
Easily.
It's huge. We had thousands of people last year. There's a full video on YouTube.
I couldn't even get in the door. I didn't get to go last year.
If you care to check it out. It will be Thursday this year. Again, we will announce more of it. It will be right after the show. It will be multiple hours. Be a lot of cool stuff happening. It's free to get in. It will never be something we charge for. So we'll announce more of that on social. But Thursday night will be trade night. So stay tuned for more about that. But you will not want to miss it. If that is your thing, it is the trade night of the National, and it is worth attending. I will shamelessly plug that. It is a good time. So, any other come see us. I will say that Lou, Tyler,
we'll be
and
in
I
a
will
corner.
actually be really, really, really close to each other.
We're
I'll be
fun.
set up in a booth with Slab Sucks, so I'll be not far from those two. Card Talk corner.
There's a lot happening in that corner.
Yeah.
We got to get that on a flag.
The Card Talk corner.
The Card
I
Talk
don't think
corner.
Aaron will be pumped about that, but I'm with it.
I'm pretty about it.
I'm pretty about it too. We're
Yeah,
gonna have mobile vendors. We're gonna have
that's a veto. That sounds like a veto.
The three of us are in, so it's happening. I was just saying, Aaron might catch a little toot.
Sorry, man. Just let him know. Just hey, man. Sorry in advance.
Hey.
Sorry in advance.
Jay, we probably need to get on to the dressings and the pomp and circumstance and our backdrop and all that.
Yes.
And Card Talk event. We'll announce more of that later. Ty knows
More
a lot
to
about
come.
it.
Friday,
Jay knows a lot about it.
early evening. Jay's working hard. Info to come.
Post show Friday. Be prepared for post show Friday if you are planning to attend or want to attend.
Card Talk at the National.
Let's get it.
It's gonna be crazy. And episode every day.
I can't wait.
A lot happening.
All right,
guys,
gang. I'm heading to
see you
dinner
guys.
with my whole family. I'm pretty excited about it.
Wow, let's go. Bye, everyone.
See you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace, guys.